The world is watching a land where history never truly sleeps, where headlines shift by the hour, and where every stone seems to carry the weight of centuries. In a place often defined by tension and attention, there is another story unfolding, quieter, older, and far more enduring. Between desert winds and ancient coastlines, forces of nature and time have shaped a landscape unlike anywhere else. From salt-heavy waters where nothing sinks to cities built and rebuilt across thousands of years, this region holds layers that go far beyond what is seen on the surface. It is a land where geography, faith, and survival have continuously intersected, creating something both fragile and extraordinary. Yet beyond the noise of the present moment, there exists a hidden dimension. Cliffs that fall into silent seas, valleys that glow under desert light, and ruins that still whisper of civilizations long gone, places rarely seen in full, places that remain just out of reach. And in the heart of it all, where past and present collide in every direction, lies a land that continues to shape and be shaped by the world around it. Israel. At the meeting point of continents where Africa, Asia, and Europe seem to converge through land and sea, there exists a region shaped as much by its position as by its past. In today's world, it remains a focal point of global attention, yet beneath the headlines lies a geography that has guided human movement, trade, and settlement for thousands of years. Located in the heart of the Middle East, Israel occupies a narrow corridor between the Mediterranean Sea and the deserts of the Arabian Peninsula. This unique position has made it a natural bridge between continents, an essential route for ancient caravans, empires, and migrating cultures. Its landscape is remarkably diverse, from coastal plains and fertile valleys to arid deserts like the Negev and the deep basin of the Dead Sea, the lowest point on Earth. Historically, this land has been at the center of some of the world's earliest civilizations and most influential belief systems. Ancient kingdoms rose and fell here, while successive empires, from the Romans to the Ottomans, left lasting marks on its cities and culture. In modern times, it continues to hold geopolitical significance shaped by complex histories and ongoing developments. There is a place on Earth where the rules of nature seem to bend, where water holds you above its surface and silence stretches across a landscape that feels almost untouched by time. In a region shaped by extremes, this is one of its most extraordinary expressions. Between Israel and Jordan lies the Dead Sea, the lowest point on Earth's surface, resting more than 430 meters below sea level. Its waters are nearly 10 times saltier than the ocean, creating a density so high that floating becomes effortless, turning the experience into something almost surreal. But beyond this phenomenon lies a stark and powerful beauty. Salt formations line the shores like frozen sculptures, while surrounding desert cliffs reflect shades of gold and amber under shifting light. The air itself feels different, thicker, quieter, carrying a stillness that defines the entire landscape. Yet even here, change is constant. The water levels have been steadily receding, reshaping the shoreline and revealing new patterns across the land. A place where nature defies expectation and silence becomes the experience itself. High above the desert floor, where silence stretches across endless horizons, there stands a fortress that was never meant to fall. A place defined not only by its isolation, but by the story it continues to carry through time. Overlooking the Dead Sea and the arid landscape of Israel, Masada rises atop a dramatic plateau, its cliffs dropping steeply into the desert below. Originally fortified by Herod the Great in the 1st century BCE, it was designed as a refuge, a stronghold of power and survival. Here, stone walls and ancient ruins trace the outline of a story marked by resistance and defiance. In 73 CE, Masada became the site of a final stand where a group of rebels chose their fate rather than surrender, turning this remote fortress into a symbol that still resonates today. But beyond its history, Masada offers something equally striking. From its summit, the desert unfolds in vast, unbroken lines, while the distant waters of the Dead Sea reflect light under an endless sky. The contrast between elevation and emptiness creates a perspective that feels both powerful and humbling. In a land defined by desert and stone, there exists a body of water that feels unexpectedly calm. A place where the air softens, the landscape opens, and silence settles differently, gentler, almost reflective. Northern Israel lies the Sea of Galilee, a freshwater lake surrounded by rolling hills and quiet settlements. Unlike the harsh terrains found elsewhere in the region, this area reveals a softer side of the landscape where water becomes the center of life and history. For centuries, this lake has held deep cultural and spiritual significance, its shores connected to some of the most well-known narratives in religious history. But beyond that, it offers a quiet beauty. Still waters reflecting shifting skies, early morning light stretching across its surface, and a sense of calm that contrasts sharply with the intensity found in other parts of the region. Here, time feels slower. The wind moves gently across the water and the horizon remains open, uninterrupted. Few places on Earth carry the weight of time as deeply as this. For centuries, it has stood at the center of belief, conflict, and devotion, a city where every stone feels watched, every path remembered. In today's world, it remains constantly in focus, yet much of its true depth still lies unseen. In the heart of Israel lies Jerusalem, one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities on Earth. A place sacred to three major religions, it holds landmarks that have shaped history itself, from the ancient walls of the Old City to sites that draw millions of pilgrims each year. But beyond its global significance, Jerusalem reveals something more intimate. Narrow stone alleys wind through centuries-old quarters where light filters softly across weathered surfaces, and every corner holds a story layered upon another. From elevated viewpoints, the city unfolds in shades of gold, its skyline defined by domes, minarets, and ancient architecture that has endured through time. Here, the past is not distant. It is present in every detail, in every step, and in every silence between the noise. Along a coastline shaped by light and movement, a different rhythm begins to emerge. Where history gives way to modern energy, the atmosphere shifts, faster, lighter, and constantly evolving. In a region often defined by its past, this is where the present takes center stage. On the Mediterranean coast of Israel lies Tel Aviv, a city built on contrast where golden beaches meet a skyline of glass and steel. Known for its vibrant culture and creative pulse, it stands as one of the most dynamic urban spaces in the region, offering a completely different perspective from the ancient cities nearby. But beyond its modern identity, Tel Aviv reveals layers worth exploring. The historic port of Jaffa sits quietly at its edge, where narrow alleys and stone buildings trace back thousands of years, blending seamlessly into the energy of the present. Meanwhile, long stretches of coastline invite a slower rhythm, where the sea reflects shifting light from sunrise to dusk. Here, tradition and transformation exist side by side, each shaping the city in its own way, a place where the future moves forward without leaving the past behind. Tucked within rolling hills where time seems to slow, there is a city that has quietly shaped the beliefs of millions. A place often spoken of but rarely seen beyond its most familiar stories, layered, complex, and still unfolding in the present day. In northern Israel lies Nazareth, one of the most significant spiritual centers in the world. Known as the childhood home of Jesus Christ, the city draws visitors from across the globe, yet its deeper character extends far beyond a single narrative. Here, narrow streets wind through stone buildings and vibrant markets, where daily life continues much as it has for generations. The Basilica of the Annunciation rises above the city, marking a site of profound meaning, while surrounding neighborhoods reveal a blend of cultures, traditions, and histories that coexist in subtle harmony. But beyond its landmarks, Nazareth offers something quieter, an atmosphere shaped by continuity where the past is not distant but woven into everyday life. Along the edge of the Mediterranean, where waves have carried empires to its shores for thousands of years, there stands a city shaped by layers of conquest, trade, and survival. A place where history was not built once, but rebuilt again and again, each era leaving its mark beneath the next. In northern Israel lies Acre, one of the oldest continuously inhabited port cities in the world. Once a strategic stronghold during the Crusades, it became a center of power, conflict, and exchange between civilizations. Beneath its surface lies a hidden world. Crusader halls, underground tunnels, and fortified passages stretch beneath the modern city, revealing a network designed for both defense and survival. Above ground, narrow streets and stone buildings reflect centuries of influence, where Ottoman architecture blends with remnants of earlier eras. Facing the sea, ancient walls still stand against time, watching over a coastline that has seen fleets arrive and empires fade. At the very edge of the desert, where mountains fall sharply into crystal clear water, a different world begins to emerge. A place defined by contrast, heat and sea, silence and color, where one of the region's most unexpected landscapes comes to life. At the southern tip of Israel lies Eilat, a coastal city where the desert meets the Red Sea. Surrounded by rugged mountains and arid terrain, Eilat reveals a striking transition from land to ocean, offering a perspective rarely found elsewhere in the region. But beyond its surface lies something even more extraordinary. Beneath the clear waters of the Red Sea exists a vibrant underwater ecosystem, coral reefs teeming with life, where colors shift with the light and marine species move in constant rhythm. It is a hidden world, quiet and immersive, far removed from the harsh environment above. Above water, the landscape remains just as compelling: sunlit cliffs, open horizons, and a sense of space that feels almost boundless. Across a vast expanse where silence stretches beyond the horizon, there is a landscape shaped not by abundance, but by absence. A place where wind, heat, and time have carved the earth into forms that feel both ancient and untouched. Southern Israel lies the Negev Desert, a region covering more than half of the country's landmass, yet remaining one of its least explored environments. Here, the terrain shifts constantly. Rocky plateaus dissolve into deep erosion craters, while dry riverbeds trace paths carved by rare but powerful floods. Among its most striking features is Maktesh Ramon, a massive erosion crater unlike any typical impact site, formed purely by geological processes over millions of years. Its vast curving walls and layered rock formations reveal a story written slowly, patiently, across deep time. But beyond its scale, the Negev offers something more subtle. At sunrise and sunset, the desert transforms, colors soften, shadows stretch, and the entire landscape seems to breathe in stillness. A place where emptiness becomes its own kind of beauty, the Negev Desert. In a landscape where history and belief are woven into every horizon, there is a town that has shaped one of the most enduring stories ever told. A place known across the world, yet still holding a quiet depth that goes far beyond its name. In the West Bank, near Jerusalem, lies Bethlehem, a town of profound spiritual significance, recognized as the birthplace of Jesus Christ. For centuries, it has drawn pilgrims from across the globe, yet its identity extends beyond a single moment in history. Here, ancient stone streets lead to sacred sites that have stood for generations, most notably the Church of the Nativity, one of the oldest continuously operating churches in the world. Beyond its landmarks, daily life unfolds in quiet rhythm, where tradition and modern reality coexist within a complex and ever-evolving region. But beyond its global recognition, Bethlehem reveals something more intimate, an atmosphere shaped by reflection, faith, and continuity. From ancient cities carved in stone to deserts that stretch beyond the horizon, this journey has revealed a land shaped by time, belief, and contrast. Places where history is not distant but alive in every street, every landscape, and every silence in between. Beyond the headlines, there is another side, quiet, layered, and often unseen. A world of hidden coastlines, sacred spaces, and natural extremes that continue to define both the past and the present. These are not just destinations, they are living stories of resilience, of transformation, and of a land that has never stood still. And like all hidden wonders, there is always more waiting beyond what we see.